Okay, Terry, I stopped the YouTube and then I restarted it. I'm getting ready to start recording the meeting again.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Okay, Mary, I had you muted. That was bizarre. Okay, I think at this point we may be ready to resume.
Ooh.
Gotta love technology.
Dara, I don't even know if I want to talk. So the results that you're getting ready to see, we'll be comparing this year's survey to FY, let's see, FY 17 survey.
Gotta love technology.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Dara, I don't even know if I want to talk. So the results that you're getting ready to see, we'll be comparing this year's survey to FY, let's see, FY 17 survey.
Gotta love technology.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I know.
Dara, I don't even know if I want to talk. So the results that you're getting ready to see, we'll be comparing this year's survey to FY, let's see, FY 17 survey.
Does anyone else have a YouTube open on their computer? Let's try muting everyone.
Or Molly, it was a great presentation.
I think it was me. I think the YouTube was open on my computer and it was doing it.
Oh,
I think that was it. So I think we're, I think that solved it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay. I'm a little gun shy here.
You're good. It was me. I think we got it taken care of.
So the data that you'll be seeing have, they're combined the agree and strongly agree responses. So that's the information will be given to you. This is information that we use from all levels of the organization and with all departments. And it's an essential piece of our continuous improvement culture. So these are things that we use as supervisors and leadership within the organization to continuously look at, so to see how we can get better. So the first two questions of this survey have to do with whether our employees have the materials, equipment, and resources needed to do their job. And in FY17, we had 91% agreed with this, and this year 97% agreed. The next question was, the people here are pleasant and cooperative to work with. 100% said agreed with it, and 98% or last year or in FY17, and then this year 98% responded positively. The next question includes that they're kept aware of how their supervisor views their performance. That increased also this year to 92% agree with that or strongly agree. And then my supervisor treats me with respect. That's at 98% this year. My supervisor is open to hearing my opinion and getting my feedback. That our FY21 was at 91% agree or strongly agree. And then also for FY21, I'm encouraged to grow and develop as a professional at Pioneer Tech. That agreement was at 98%. There's a strong feeling of teamwork and cooperation here at Pioneer Tech. That was 97% for FY21. And then also for FY21, 92% was the agreement level of I can express my honest opinions without fear. I feel I am valued at Pioneer Tech. 95% of our staff this year said that they feel like they're valued at Pioneer Tech. And then feeling a part of a team working towards shared goals is 97% of agreement. And as you know, that we have team goals for every team. So that's nice that people realize they're working on a shared goal. And then this data is what we track to show trends for accreditation purposes. So these are key questions that we focus on that talk about our level of communication and then the confidence in leadership. And as you can see, we ask if our organization-wide communications are frequent enough. So that's the question that's to the far left. That's increased each survey that we've had since FY15. And then we ask, are our communications detailed enough? And that has also increased since FY15. Then another question is, changes are communicated to me prior to implementation. That has also been on the increase. And then for the last 2 surveys in a row, I have confidence in leadership of Pioneer Tech. That is 100% agreement, whether it's agree or strongly agree. So that's something that I think that we can be really proud as supervisors and leaders. And something also to notice that we do know that communication is always an area we can grow on. And when you think about the way COVID has played out this past year with us, or with any organization, I think that it is it's a testament that we haven't been able to respond or maybe inform people as quickly. Things change before we even can communicate the changes and things like that with our organization or just with life in general. And the fact that we are making our best efforts, Kale's getting information out to staff, Tracy's getting information out, supervisors are getting their information out to our members of our staff as soon as we can, as soon as we know enough to communicate. So I really feel like this has been a very positive response from our staff, considering that it's been a really tough year. So there's kudos to Tracy and her leadership, and then just all our peers in general. It's a testament to what we are really working towards with our continuous improvement. And finally, the best things about working at Pioneer Tech, and I put this word cloud together, and I like to typically do that, is that these are the things that came out as the common themes throughout the surveys. And family, obviously, the bigger the word, the more often that word is said. And so family, people, everyone, the things that are positive about being a part of Pioneer Tech. So.
Today, Sabado. Alam namin Sabado dapat nagpapahinga po tayo. Pero alam natin na marami po tayong kailangan i-catch up at
that's not me talking.
Natin ang online distance learning or distance learning nakakaharapin natin sa mga susunod na araw.
Anybody else on our screen.
For example, kami po sa Xavier School, nagsimula na kami ng aming distance learning.
Does anyone have anything playing in the background that you're not aware of?
Excuse me?
Does anyone have something playing in the background you're not aware of that maybe you brought up recently?
It's me again.
It's you.
What are you doing, Tracy?
Something else popped up on my internet.
Close all internet tabs. All right, hold on. I may lose you.
It sounded like you're learning Spanish, Tracy.
Talking about this thing.
It's too good. This is too funny.
Oh man, I feel like she's just pranking me.
We're just good for entertainment tonight.
It's like, let's see how Molly reacts to this one.
I appreciate Molly putting together that staff survey. We do a larger survey every other year. And so that's where you were getting the larger questions from 2017 to 2021. And then we have a shorter survey that we monitor every year to make certain those are questions that we ask and we track for accreditation. And so we've been really glad our approval level.
All right, who's that?
High. And, we work really hard to maintain a culture at Pioneer Tech that is positive and family oriented. You can tell from the responses that I think our staff definitely feel that. And if it's a place where we love to come and work every day, it's going to spill over to the students. So.
And that's one thing as the supervisor group, we met last week and we went over the results and we talked about ways that yes, I mean, it's the results are very positive, but that doesn't mean we don't have areas to grow in. And so, you know, a lot of conversation about how do we even get better with communication? How can we be more consistent? And how can we help each other? And then looking at opportunities as a supervisory group, you know, what are some professional development opportunities for us based on these results? So that's really a positive way to be able to listen to, you know, our internal stakeholders, you know, listening to them, and then, you know, doing something about any comments or anything that we have, just to make sure that they know that their input and their feedback is appreciated, and we want to take action on it.
Are those, is that survey standardized throughout the state system, or is this one that Pioneer Tech has come up with? Does everyone survey based on the assessment or the accreditation criteria?
Career techs are different. That survey is based off of, it is a kind of a Pioneer Tech thing, but it's based off of engagement surveys like from Gallup, and that like Tom Rath has done, things like that. So the questions are based off of, you know, some industry engagement survey questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we identified the questions that we felt were most meaningful for us to ask our staff, and the ones that we wanted to track year over year. And that helps us to gauge, you know, if there are areas where we need to be improving.
And it's really been helpful that you don't want to over survey people, because then I think they get like fatigued and they don't answer maybe as honestly, or maybe don't put as much time into it. And so we really try to make sure that we, like Tracy said, we do kind of a core survey, and then we do a bigger survey on alternating years.
Okay, well, thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
Tracy, this is Terry. Just because of the problems that we've had with YouTube, I was wondering if it would be okay if I just texted all of the board members a link to the YouTube video and they could watch it. Would that be all right with everyone?
No, I think that's fine. It just, YouTube starts on its own in the background whenever you start it in Zoom. So that's something that we'll have to remember for next time.
Yes, that's what I was worried about too. So that's why I just thought, if that's all right with everyone, I'll just look for it on a text on your phone. Okay.
So the video, do you want to share a little bit about the video and what we did to initiate that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Making sure that I have about 4 things going here, making sure that I'm getting all the links on Facebook and everything else. This was a video that we put together, you know, with thoughts of how are we going to do recruitment when it comes to COVID? And we talked with our friends at Speak Now, and I had an idea of perhaps giving a 45-second, each instructor would give a 45-second speech about what their program's all about. We would see video of each student, not each student, but some students doing different things. Transitions, we use student ambassadors. We talked about college credit. We talked about student organizations. And it became about a 12-minute, 53-second video. And it turned out great. We premiered it on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And we watched while people commented, and they did have questions, and we answered questions. At the same time, we cross-promoted our PTC preview, and that gave people an opportunity to sign up right then if they wanted to either come and visit, or if they wanted to, or if it was a parent and they wanted to sign their student up. So it was a great promotion, and we've had almost 6,000 views on it now. And it's just, it was a great opportunity. And now, I mean, with Lawrence, you know, Lawrence, he made a comment there. And also we're going to be doing that with Biz as well. We're hoping this next month we'll be shooting something with them. So we'll have to get their scripts together for each of the coordinators. And that's what I did. Actually, I asked the instructors to send me a script, and I kind of morphed it into, you know, active voice and all those things. And that's exactly what we'll do with the coordinators as well. And thinking of premiering that, maybe, you know, I'll talk with Molly about it, of course, but thinking of premiering that perhaps during a small business week, and people can do the same things. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it came to be. And it was really successful. I'm not going to steal Kel's thunder, but one of the things that we got from that is having a person there in the school, in each school from student services, whenever it, it premiered and they showed it, they had a private link where they could show it in each classroom. That was really, really great. And we had incredible feedback on that. So we definitely learned from that. And I think it's going to be part of what they do for next year.
That's awesome. Yep. And you guys may have seen the video on Facebook, but Terry will send you guys a separate link if you want to watch it again. It was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turned out great.
All right. Thank you, Terry.
Welcome.
You're still muted, JD.
How's that? By
There you
golly.
There you go.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you, guys. Does anybody have any thoughts or questions for either Molly or Terry? Okay. We'll look forward to that. All right. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, and that's to discuss and vote to approve or not approve the minutes for the January 12th, 2021 regular Board of Education meeting.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 12th, 2021 regular Board of Education meeting.
Okay. Do I got a second?
Second.
All right, Gay moved and Mary seconded to approve the minutes for the January 12th, 2021 regular Board of Education meeting. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Allison is mute.
She might have went home.
Balil,
Maybe
Yes.
she is home.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick.
Yes. All right, motion carries. Agenda item number 6 is the discussion, review, and vote to approve or not approve the financial reports, the activity fund report, the encumbrance change order list, which is general fund number 10,924 through 11,049, 10,041 through 10,046, and the payroll from 70,158 to 70,159. Is Stacy on board?
I'm here.
All right.
My thing says internet connection is unstable, so if I lose you, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, those reports were attached. If you have any questions on any of the encumbrances, I will try to answer that for you. And the financials were there. I also sent JD a copy of that today so he could see them a little bit better. And you will see that we got our nice big tax check in January. So that's always a relief when that comes in. We're at about 70% of our estimated collections in general fund and 86% in the building fund. So we're right on track like we should be. If you all have any specific questions, I would be happy to try to answer that for you.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody have any questions? So yeah, it looked pretty good. We're pretty far ahead. We're ahead of last year as far as spending money and getting money in. We're ahead of that. So it looked pretty good. But does anybody else have any questions or thoughts or comments?
There was an encumbrance to Speak Now film for $5,900. I know last time they had done a marketing film for the school, but is this or for maybe a chamber? Is this another one or is this?
That was actually for the recruitment video that I'm talking about that I just texted to you. Mhm.
Okay.
And they also there's another one in there that we did some mini videos that from each of those, we took the 45 seconds and we broke them into each program. And so we have those as
Okay.
well.
Okay. That's the $775,
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
I guess. Okay.
Any other questions?
No,
Well, this is the real reason we needed to meet tonight, so we can get the stuff paid. So
right.
I'd entertain a motion. If there's no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda item number 6.
I move to approve agenda item number 6, the financials, and I don't have my agenda in front of me.
Okay, that's fine. Second?
I'll second that.
All right, Mary moved and Lawrence seconded to approve the financial reports, the activity fund report, and the encumbrance change order list, which included general fund 10,924 through 11,049, and the building fund 10,041 to 10,046, and the payroll number 7158 to 7159. Any further discussions or questions? Hearing none, I'd take a roll call vote, please.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes,
Solid,
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item number 7 for administrative reports and anticipated discussion by the board and staff regarding facilities, district policy issues, community issues, and or personnel's or student needs. And first off, Tracy, you're going to be first. Okay.
Yeah, I tell you, weather's been the hot topic for the last number of days. I am, and we were even having Zoom meetings and things. Those don't stop, even though we haven't been able to be on campus. But we've mentioned several times how thankful we are that we've learned some things through COVID. Technology is one of those hugely beneficial items for us, because although we already hadn't scheduled to have students on campus Friday of last week because of parent-teacher conferences, and then Monday was a holiday, but we used it as a makeup snow day from our previous storm back in first semester. And thankfully we had the capability because of COVID to go virtual, and we've utilized it all of this week so far. So I know several of our partner districts last week were scrambling, trying to get technology out to their students so they could go virtual. And that's been a big deal for all of us to be able to continue to offer some education, even though we can't be in person. And I know we're all talking about being excited to be able to be back, hopefully Friday. Mike Orr and his group have been working to clear the lots and take care of things here so that we can be prepared and we've had 2 bouts of snow that he's had to come out and deal with. So I appreciate all of their work to try to keep us ready to go back as soon as we can. And they'll finish up a little bit tomorrow, and hopefully with the above freezing temperatures, everything will work out and we'll be back for the rest of the school year. So knock on wood. We've had a lot of things happen in January and beginning of February. One of the big things that we got off of the to-do list was our accreditation action plan. It is attached into my report for you all. There's a spreadsheet that shows all of the different opportunities for improvement, all the OFEs that we selected that we felt would be beneficial for the district to address. Several of them we have already started working on, and several of them have already been completed. So we have a timeline identified of when we plan to have them done, and the people on campus who are responsible for making certain that those action plans get implemented. And then there's a little bit of a description about what we're going to do. So I'll let you all go in and read those. We are required to submit that to the Department of Career Tech. And then at the 3-year mark, they will review with us our action plans, and we'll get to tell them, where we are in terms of completing all of those. I anticipate that all of those will probably be completed, if not by the end of this school year, then by next, because they're things that we can implement pretty easily. So,
Okay.
so that was one more thing that we were glad to get off the to-do list. We've continued to watch the COVID statistics, and I don't know if you guys have been watching this week, but we've even had single-digit cases on a daily basis. I went back and looked. January 28th, we were 103 cases per 100,000. And then February 4th, we actually slipped down into the orange for the first time. We dropped to 49.22. We had been 12 weeks at the red level at that point. And then February 11th, we went up 1.64 points and it put it back in the red, barely. So I'm anxious to see what color we are this next week. But I think it's been beneficial. You know, students have basically been on a forced quarantine for several days. So I anticipate that hopefully with all of the vaccinations that have happened, we will continue to see lower numbers, and we will of course continue to do what we need to do on our campus to try to keep students and staff, socially distant and maintaining those guidelines so that we can avoid any further quarantines. We are still waiting to see when phase 3 will be implemented. Career techs do not fall into the phase 2 category that public schools do as far as vaccination schedules. So we have been reminded, yes, you are in phase 3 and that's yet to come. So we're just continuing to watch that. And of course, the weather's been delaying a lot of those vaccination pods too. So that's going to be a little bit farther behind as well. One of the other things we've been working on, and we had, like Molly mentioned, we had our supervisors meeting last week, and then this week we started our mid-year goal reviews, where we the goals that we each set for teams at the beginning of the year and the midpoint of the year, we meet with each team and say, okay, how are your goals doing? What are you most proud of? What do you need from us to help make your goal a success? And so we started our mid-year reviews with our goal teams, and we will continue to do those next week as well. Let's see. We had our first meeting with the Center of Workforce Excellence group and started identifying committees to specifically work on addressing the goals that we identified. And just to give you an idea what the goals were, goal 1 was to help individuals understand both the skills that are required by employers and how to prepare for success. Goal 2 was to help policymakers and stakeholders measure and close skills gaps that help individuals and businesses thrive. And goal 3 was to respond to employers' most urgent needs. And so we have identified individuals from our advisory council who will be serving on each of those goal committees. And then within the next month, we will be meeting as committees to identify the specific action steps that we want to take to address those goals as a regional center of workforce excellence. So we're getting started on our work. I'm anxious to see what recommendations come out of each of those committees, and then we'll kind of figure out how we need to work together to start making all of those activities happen. Garrett Bowers of Bowers Trucking and Bradley Fox of Evans and Associates have stepped forward as industry leaders to be the drivers of our Center of Workforce Excellence along with us, because it says that it needs to be industry driven. And while we don't mind being the conveners and really helping facilitate and getting all of those activities moving forward, we really do need some industry leaders to step forward and help drive that with us. So we were appreciative of Brad Fox and Garrett Bowers to step forward with our group. The building project is moving along. They have still had people out here working a little bit, even though it's been incredibly bitterly cold. So I know that's going to have a bearing on some of our progress, but thank goodness they were able to get a lot of stuff done that has allowed them to do a little bit of stuff inside the structure of the building, even though it's been bitterly cold. We'll have our construction meeting tomorrow, and they'll let us know exactly how much more progress they were able to make from last Thursday to this. One of the things I did want to share with you, and you should have it attached to my report, board members, is a list of the contingency funds that we have utilized. You approved $150,000 of contingency funds for us to utilize if we had items come up that needed to be addressed. And there's a list of the proposal requests. We are going to need to revise the existing stormwater retention area. When we added some additional parking in the front of the building, that made some change to the retention structure. And so we're gonna have to expand it a bit. So that's gonna cost us a little bit to expand that. There was a section of the precast concrete wall down at the very end of the building. It's kind of that little open area at the south end of the building where the culinary arts program is. Those tilt-up concrete precast walls were separating a little bit from the top where it was bolted and they had plates. And so we needed to reinforce that. So that was just stabilizing that section of the wall. We were able to eliminate several things. We eliminated some trench drains from the kitchen equipment. That gave us a credit. We had a no cost change on PR6 of some of the lighting fixtures in the parking lot. We identified where we wanted to move one to the north parking lot and change the type of fixtures. And so it didn't cost us anything to make that adjustment. We also talked about the different kinds of door closers for the areas, and we were able to get some credit because we eliminated some types of door closers that we didn't really feel like it needed to have the automatic, it closes itself. We got rid of a couple of those. The PR11, the troffer light fixture, we're going to get a credit on that, but we will be purchasing separately the lights that will be utilized for that area. We identified that in the bid, they bid a different type of light than the ones we currently use. And we want to continue to be consistent with the types of lights that we have throughout the building. And we have a great relationship with Lock. And so they're going to give us credit for the lights that were in the bid, but we're going to have to purchase those separately through our vendor. So, and it'll cost us a little bit more because the lights we want are a little higher quality light, and we're very satisfied with them, and we want to stay with what we have. So I think it's going to end up costing us around $22,000 versus the 14, but like I said, we have a great relationship with Lock. They warranty our work. The other vendor would have been in Oklahoma City, and we weren't able to get what we want with the relationship with the vendor that we currently have. So anyway, then there's just a few other things, changing the acoustical ceiling to have the little shadow edge around it. Somehow or another, they missed that in the architectural planning. And so in order to remain consistent with how our acoustical ceiling is dropped into our rooms, we needed to change that. And so that added a little bit to the cost. Adding a couple of TV monitor locations on the west wall of room 138, which I think was the, is that the cosmetology reception area? Somebody's gonna have to remind me what 138 is. But we've identified a couple of places where we needed to add the raceways and the electrical for the TV monitors that we want to put in there. We also identified that we had a couple of areas in the plans where they were showing tile all the way to the ceiling, and we've suggested that we really don't want tile all the way to the ceiling, because if you want to secure something to the wall, or if you need to put posters up or artwork or a television, and you have tile all the way up, it just run the risk of damaging tile. And so, we expressed we don't want tile all the way up. So that's going to cost us a little bit with the extra painting and that we need to do to make that happen. And then they changed some EFS, from EFS to some unfaced insulation. That was a small cost. So The long and the short of it is that with the amounts that we've been credited and the amounts that we have already expended, we still have about 116,000 in our contingency funds. So we're doing well there. But I thought it was good to show you kind of where we're at with that. And then PTC preview was coming up for us last week, but with all of the weather, we rescheduled those to February the 23rd and the 25th. And so we will be resuming the PTC preview events with our students. And we were excited that immediately once we republished the rescheduling, we had students automatically go in there and reschedule their dates. So, and Terry could probably tell us how many we have.
Yeah, Terry said it was 83 is what she texted me earlier. That was going to be part of the report that I had.
We have 83 students that have signed up for PTC preview. So we're excited about that. So do you guys have any other questions for me?
No, so we don't need to take any action on that. It's not a change order per se on the contingency use of the contingency funds, right?
Right.
Okay.
You approved the contingency funds, and so there's nothing that you have to do to approve that.
Okay, good deal. Any questions for Tracy? Okay, seeing none. Cale, do you want to step in or?
Yes, I'd be happy to talk about full-time programs as well as other things that are going on at Pioneer Tech. I took the report and highlighted a couple items that I'd like to discuss. And first one is just to recognize the safety team. They're rock stars, you know, over this snowstorm. They're still working and making certain that the folks at the refinery can get the credentials they need so they can start the turnaround soon. But along with that, they throughout the last month, they had 775 participants in training. So they've really been doing a lot of work. And every time we had a meeting earlier this week, and Carl was talking about how his team, Mason and Cody, were just doing a great job making certain that the needs of P66 was being met. Moving on to the full-time program side of things, we've already talked a little bit about the video. Terry's shared that. Terry did a great job, and the teachers did a wonderful job of working with the marketing department to create the Speak Now video. It was a nice touch having the students, our students, in the videos, and it created a lot of pride with our student body as well. I think everybody wanted to show their family, their friends, so that that recruitment really, I think, is really going to be a valuable tool for us. You know, with COVID, we haven't had the opportunity to have the 8th grade visits. We haven't had sophomore tours. Most likely won't have 3rd graders on campus this year because there's not a way to close contact trace. So the video is our one major recruitment activity, which we had the live event associated with that. So we had staff members across campus, from all across campus. They went out to our partner schools for the live event and answered questions about Pioneer Tech, the full-time programs. So we had a representative on every one of our partner districts during the day of the live event. Of course, Tracy mentioned that the live event should have been Tuesday night, last Tuesday night during the board meeting, but because of weather and reschedule, we're looking at the 23rd, 25th. And I think it's a big deal that we're going to actually have people on campus and they've signed up. You know, in the age of COVID, with everything that's taken away from you, people want to be in person. They want to be in class. They want as much normal as possible. So we'll have them on campus. Their schedules for specific times with no more than 50 individuals on our campus during a given time as far as our guests. And then they can learn about the programs they're interested in enrolling in. Of course, all of our continuation of operation or safety protocols will be followed just to ensure the safety of our public as well as our staff. So we're pretty excited about that. A couple other things in full-time programs is that we're going to be meeting the directors. Michelle Tripp and the directors and I met to talk about health careers to practical nursing transition discussion. We're finalizing a plan to have our health career students who are completing the program shadow for 15 hours in the practical nursing program to give them a taste of the curriculum and experience what it's like to be in the adult world, in the medical field. The idea would be to help boost practical nursing enrollment and ensure the students that are coming into the practical nursing program from the high school health careers program that those students are ready and prepped for the rigor within the practical nursing program. And of course, the next big thing is summer camps and summer academies. We're ready for those to happen in June and July. So we've been meeting, we've got plans in place. So that's something that was taken from us last summer whenever we had to have the shutdown. So we're excited to offer that opportunity for our community this summer. So with that, if you've got any questions about the rest of the report, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions for Cale? Okay, thank you, Cale.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, the discussion and vote to approve or not approve the purchases over 10,000 as listed on Appendix A.
That item that is listed there is some distance learning curriculum that we can utilize with the practical nursing students for simulations. And we're utilizing the CARES funding to cover that cost.
Okay. All righty. Is this kind of like an online deal? I mean, it looks like a license that you're.
Yes, these are licenses for simulation activities for those students, so that if they can't get out into the clinical environment, they can utilize these simulations to count for those clinicals.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty. Any questions?
No.
All righty. Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve or not approve purchases over 10,000.
Make a motion to approve purchases over 10,000 as listed on Appendix A.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion from Lawrence, and I'll take Gay's second. Allison. Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes. Motion carries. Our agenda item number 9 is a presentation, discussion and vote to accept or not accept Putnam and Associates fiscal year 20 audit report.
Hello, Jerry.
All right. Well, so glad to be able to see all of you tonight, especially without having to drive on any bad roads to do that. And I'm here to summarize the audit report for last year. And there's some good news in the financial statements. Of course, the financial statements tell two different stories. We show things on the cash basis and also on the accrual basis. And talk about the cash basis first. Our general fund balance increased about $411,000. And that means we took in more revenue than we expended, $411,000. In the building fund, we increased about $1,392,000. And I have to kick the cat there, I'm sorry. So in total, when we add the general fund and the building fund together, we increased about $1,008,000 on the cash basis. And we look at it the other way under the accrual basis, which is more accurate. We have depreciation in there. We have receivables and payables. We have biggest thing, our obligation in case the teacher's retirement system would go down, and we would be required to fund that at the district level. When we look at it on the accrual basis, instead of increasing $1,008,000, we increase about $903,000, about half as much. But the big reason is the change in our respective liability under the teacher's retirement program. You do all the actuarial adjustments, and we would owe about $881,000 more this year than the prior year. So that really is the salient thing there that changed our position under the accrual basis. You know, the federal government likes to look a lot closer at audit reports when you spend over $750,000 in federal program money, and they consider you have major programs. And at Pioneer, we spent about $953,000. So we had to be careful on the federal. Real good job on the federal programs. We felt like things were well documented, and although we have to send the audit to the Federal Clearinghouse, we don't think there'll be any follow-up that should be of any concern. You know, in our audits, we're also supposed to look for fraud. So, and almost always fraud is discovered by a coworker. So one thing we did again this year was to circulate some questionnaires to just try to elicit a response from the staff there, see if anybody noticed unusual things going on, and no one failed the test. We got all the right answers on the questionnaires, and very glad to report that. In our findings, we noted just a couple things that we noticed. You know, although we're exempt from sales tax, we paid a couple invoices which included sales tax. And building fund, we noticed where there was a signature missing on some documentation. But we want to thank everyone that helped us on the audit: Tracy and Stacy, Linnell, Aaron, anybody else that filled out the questionnaires. We feel like you're doing a good job. We're really pleased with what we found in the records again this year. And with that, I welcome any questions you might have.
Okay. I looked over the majority of the audit report, and it looked good. Does anybody else have any questions?
I don't.
Not one.
Okay. Well, we need to take a vote to approve that, or accept it, not approve it, but just accept it.
I move we accept the audit report.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion from Mary and a second from Gay to accept the audit report from Putnam and Associates for fiscal year 20. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes, motion carries. Jerry, thanks for the work. Stacy, thank
Jerry.
you and your staff for the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's good to come up with a clean audit report. That's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on
Stacy.
to,
Good job.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
thank you. We'll move on to agenda item number 10, the discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the revisions to policies BE-R2, Board of Education meetings, which that's going to talk about teleconferencing and video conferencing regulations. And BE-E, Board of Education meetings, that teleconferencing or video conferencing regulations, and then a sample notice and agenda and policy. So Tracy, you gonna do this, or Stacy, you gonna do this one?
I will. So both of those are updates to the policy that we enacted in March when the governor declared, the state of emergency, and the fact that we could utilize virtual or tele meetings for in allowing the Open Meeting Act to anyway, we can utilize tele or video conferencings with the Open Meeting Act.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say. So anyway, so the updates to this policy basically give us the new dates that allow us to extend that through February 15th of 2020 or until 30 days after the expiration or termination of the state of emergency. And so the new language that is underlined there is just the addition to basically the rest of the policy stayed virtually the same. It did mention in policy BE-R2 that if a video conference option is provided, the meeting must be broadcast via a video conference mechanism to the public, regardless of whether the board members are physically in attendance. And that if a code or password is required to access the video conference meeting, then it should be included on the agenda. So anyway, those small changes were identified on that policy, and we're just recommending approval to be in line with the new guidelines.
So does that
Okay.
mean now that that some members can video conference and some can attend in person
Yes.
at the same?
Yes, we just need to notify prior to the posting of the agenda, which board members are going to attend in which format.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Okay, any further comments or questions? I just totally overlooked this when I looked at it today.
Well, I was thankful that because of the weather, Julie Miller gave us the guidance that since the law had already been enacted, we could go ahead and utilize this mechanism, even though we hadn't approved the updates to the policy. So now we'll have both in place.
Okay. All right, any further questions or comments? If hearing none, we're taking a motion to approve that revisions.
Make a motion to approve revisions to policies BE-R2, Board of Education meetings, teleconferencing or video conferencing regulations, and BE-E, Board of Education meetings, tele or video conferencing regulations as seen in the report.
Okay.
Second.
All right, Lawrence moved and Mary seconded to approve the revisions to policies BE-R2, the Board of Education meetings, the teleconferencing or video conferencing regulations, and the BE-E, Board of Education meetings for tele or video conferencing regulations, which we just went over. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, take a roll call vote.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes. All right, motion carries. We'll move on to agenda item number 11, is discussion and vote to award or decline bid for 2021 cosmetology equipment project.
Hi,
Grace,
everyone.
talk about that a little bit. Mike's going to talk about it. Okay.
Yes. On February the 2nd, we held a competitive bid in the bid center in the plant room. And it was for the 2021 cosmetology equipment project. And that will be for the new area, the westward expansion. And we had a bid of $129,800. And we ask that y'all accept that bid. It is under the projected budget that we had for that equipment.
It came in about $20,000 under what we had anticipated, so we were excited.
Nice. Good.
If y'all have any questions about it.
Oh, okay. All right. I read that wrong earlier today. Okay, so we're okay with this one.
Yes.
Mike,
All
why
right.
were the expenses less? Any idea?
I think it just depends on just how, COVID has affected a lot of different pieces of equipment and the availability. However, this has been under, I'm not sure exactly, more than that really. Just
And I think
it varies.
I think we estimated high just to make certain we felt like we would have enough.
Well, it's always nice to see something come back less than what you thought it would be.
So what's the significance of the date of February 28th on page 3 of 3? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure what you're looking at, Gay.
Page 3, bid proposal, date February 28th, 2021, project 2021 cosmetology project. The very top line, the handwritten date and stuff on page 3 of the bid proposal.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Let me open that and look.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it, matters, or I was just trying
I
to
think
look
it
and see what.
was maybe just a transcription error. Let me look.
I mean, if it doesn't affect the terms of the contract, I guess it's.
Yeah, I'm not able to open that on this. Is
Hmm.
that on the actual bid project?
It's on the bid
Or the bid sheet?
proposal document.
Yeah.
If
Mike,
that's-
it's on the bid proposal sheet. It says date February 28th, 2021. I'm just wondering if that should have been, they should have been January 28th and they just wrote the wrong date down.
I think he did. I think that was just a
I
transcription.
think so, yes, yes.
Well, is that going to be a problem for us to accept it?
I don't think so. It's not any of the actual, they haven't done a contract or anything. That'll all be done later and that'll all have new dates and everything on it. So.
Okay, that's fine. I just curious. Have we done business with them before? Are they like
Yes.
the cosmetology people?
And they have done projects with a lot of the other technology centers. So they
did some of the ones that we went and visited too. And
Okay.
they were very highly recommended. And one of the things that we also ran into was that some of the other places, they can't put a whole package together. And the person that does this, he's educated for this type of design, and he's done many cosmetology technology centers.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
What's the name of the vendor? Or
Salon Equipment and Design of Oklahoma.
Were they the only bid?
Unfortunately, they were.
Okay, well,
We
that's
did
fine.
feel comfortable. We did feel comfortable with them because of just the reputation and them working with all the other technology centers and coming under $20,000 under our budget.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any further questions? Entertain a motion to approve or to award or decline the bid of the 2021 cosmetology equipment project.
I'd make a motion to award the bid for the 2021 cosmetology equipment project to Salon Equipment and Design of Oklahoma.
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
I'll let you second it.
I'll second that, sorry.
Okay, all right, motion, Gay moved and Lawrence seconded to award the bid for the 2021 cosmetology equipment project to the Salon Equipment and Design of Oklahoma for $129,800. Any further questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
O'Leal,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
yes,
Solick,
Yes, motion carries. We'll move to agenda item number 12 is a discussion and vote to approve or not approve the individuals on part-time and temporary employment contracts and addendum to contracts as listed on Appendix B. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Kind of a lot of the same ones.
I just might mention that some of these will be reduced due to the fact that we weren't in school part of last week and part of this week, but we'll make those reductions on their contract.
Okay, all right. Any other questions or thoughts? Okay, would I entertain a motion to approve the individuals on part-time and temporary employment contracts and addendum to contracts as listed on Appendix B, actually, Appendix B.
so move.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mary and seconded by Gay to Go ahead and approve the individuals on the
Part-time.
temporary employment contracts and addenda to the contracts as listed on Appendix B. Any further discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solid,
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move on down to Agenda 13, proposed executive session to discuss contract renewals for employees listed on Appendix C, the executive directors, the admin team directors, employment of Marcy Close for the AT&D registrar, employment of a fleet maintenance bus driver, and the evaluation of the superintendent CEO. This is in accordance with Oklahoma statute Title 25, 307B1.
I move we convene an executive session.
Got a second?
Second that.
Okay. And we're actually on agenda item number 14, vote to convene an executive session. The motion was made by Mary and seconded by Lawrence to do so. Any further comments or discussion? Then we'll take a vote. Roll call, please.
Balil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solid,
Yes, motion carries. Okay, how are we going to do this?
Okay, I'm going to move the board members and myself into a breakout room, and we will convene into the executive session there. And then when we're finished, I will move us back out. So give me just 1 second and I'll put us in our new room.
Miss Tracy, I have the sheet ready to say executive session. Do you just want me to share my screen to say that you guys are in executive session? You talked about having something
For
on
the
the,
YouTube,
Yeah, you could go ahead and put that up when we get moved.
I'm going to join.
Hey, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, you should see something on your screen.
Reading a list.
Okay, I think we're back.
We back?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Okay.
Gay, you want to unmute?
Yep, Gay's on mute. All right. Agenda item number 15 will acknowledge the return of the board to open session. And number 16, the board entered into executive session at 7:10 to discuss contract renewals for employees listed on Appendix C, which were the executive directors, the admin team directors, employment of Marcy Close, the AT&D registrar, employment of a fleet maintenance bus driver, and evaluation of superintendent CEO per Oklahoma statute titles 25-307B1. Those present in executive session were Lawrence Belil, board member, Gay Norris, board member, Mary Rigdon, board member, JD Solick, board member, and Tracy Thorpe, superintendent. No action was taken by the Board of Education, and we returned to open session at 7:46 p.m. All right, so moving on down to agenda item number 17 is a motion to approve the contract renewals for the employees listed on Appendix C, the executive directors and the admin team directors.
I would make a motion to approve the contract renewals for employees listed on Appendix C, the executive directors and admin team directors.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Motion by Gay, and a second by Mary to approve the contract renewals for the employees listed on Appendix C, which is the executive directors and the admin team directors. Roll call, please.
Belil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving to agenda item number 18 is vote to approve the employment of Marcy Close as the AT&D registrar.
oops,
I move to approve the employment of Marcy Close for attendant.
Okay,
What was the rest of it?
got AT&D registrar, that's it.
AT&D registrar. I don't have my agenda. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mary and a second by Lawrence to approve Marcy Close as the AT&D registrar. Roll call, please.
Belil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving to agenda item number 19 is to vote to approve or not approve the employment of Jay Kirkendall as the fleet maintenance bus driver.
I move that we approve Jay Kirkendall for the fleet maintenance bus driver.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion from Mary and a second from Lawrence to approve Jay Kirkendall for the fleet maintenance and bus driver position. Any further discussion or comments? Roll call, please.
Belil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving to agenda item number 20 for public comment. Do we have any public out there that has a comment? I don't think so. And so if we move on down to agenda item number 21 is we'll need a motion and a vote to adjourn.
I would move to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
all righty. Gay moved, Lawrence seconded to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Belil,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rigdon,
Yes.
Solick.
Yes. All right, motion carries. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Now go
Thank
turn
you.
lights off.
Thank you,
Stay
Tracy.
here in-
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Everybody
So-
stay warm.
Be safe out there on the road.
Yeah, you too.